Hello everyone, I'm Winston C. Lone Star and welcome back to the Lone Star Speaks channel. Today we're talking about the 9 to 5, not the idea of work, but the system that keeps millions of people in a loop they never chose. In the UK, the 9 to 5 is treated as normal, expected, unquestioned. But this structure didn't appear by accident. It was engineered, enforced, and eventually accepted as the only way to live. Yet more people than ever feel drained, overlooked, and stuck. In this video, I'm breaking down where the 9 to 5 came from, how it changed, and why so many of us feel trapped inside it, including my own experience. To understand the 9 to 5, we need to look at what came before it. During the Industrial Revolution, work wasn't measured in hours, it was measured in survival. Factories ran from sunrise to sunset to justify the cost of their new machines. Men, women, and even children often labored 10 to 16 hours a day, 6 days a week. To put that into perspective, you would start at 6 a.m. and not finish until 6 p.m., and in many cases even later. Factory owners demanded constant production and refused to stop the machines. There were no protections, no limits, and no concept of work-life balance. The idea of an 8-hour day would have sounded like a fantasy. This is where the seeds of the modern workday were planted, not out of kindness from employers, but from pressure by workers who had reached their breaking point. By the early 1800s, conditions had become so brutal that workers began to organize. Strikes, protests, and early unions demanded something radical for the time: limits on working hours. After World War I, the UK began formalizing shorter working hours. Factories, offices, and government institutions gradually adopted the 8-hour day. Over time, the 9 to 5 became the standard for administrative and corporate work. At the time, it was viewed as progressive, even generous, a structured day, a predictable schedule, a clear boundary between work and home. For many workers, it felt like a step toward dignity. But the world that created the 9 to 5 is not the world we live in today. Fast forward to the modern UK workplace. The 9 to 5 still exists, but the world around it has changed dramatically. The cost of living has risen faster than wages. Commutes have become longer. Technology has blurred the line between work and personal time. Emails follow people home. Teams' messages arrive at night. And the expectation to always be available has quietly replaced the boundaries the 9 to 5 was meant to protect. Corporate culture has shifted too. Productivity is monitored, performance is tracked. Workers are expected to do more with less, and many feel replaceable, as if they're just another number in a system designed for efficiency, not humanity. The 9 to 5 was created for a world where one income could support a household, where people could afford homes, where work ended when you left the building. That world is gone. Today, dissatisfaction with the 9 to 5 is widespread, especially in the UK, and it's not because people are lazy or entitled, it's because the system no longer fits the reality of modern life. Remote work showed people that alternatives exist. Younger generations reject the idea of living to work. Mental health issues are rising. Burnout is becoming normalized, and many feel trapped by rent, debt, and stagnant wages. The unhappiness isn't personal, it's structural and reinforced by an economic system that demands more from workers while giving less in return. From my perspective, and from what I've experienced, the 9 to 5 feels outdated. It was built for a different era, a different economy, and a different society. I've seen how draining it can be, how it consumes time, energy, and creativity. How it leaves people too tired to pursue their passions or build something of their own. I don't believe humans were meant to spend the majority of their lives in a cycle of work, commute, eat, sleep, repeat. I don't believe productivity should define a person's worth, and I don't believe a system that leaves so many people unhappy should be treated as the only option. People deserve flexibility, they deserve time, they deserve a life that isn't dictated entirely by their job. And I'm not the only one who feels this way. Far from it. The number of people questioning the 9 to 5 is growing. People are sick and tired of this rigid, outdated regime. The 9 to 5 was once a victory for workers. Today, it feels like a cage for many. Understanding its history helps us see why so many people feel exhausted, undervalued, and disconnected, and why conversations about changing the way we work are not only valid, but necessary. Whether the future is flexible hours, remote work, shorter weeks, or something entirely new, one thing is clear: the old system is cracking, and people are finally questioning it.